Becoming a millionaire is by far the most important thing that you could ever achieve in your life. And if you can do so in your 20s, you're gonna be seen as way cooler than everybody else. Just look at me. Don't I seem really cool? Becoming a millionaire is definitely not the most important thing you can do, and it won't make you the coolest person in the room, but it is highly achievable and it can make your financial life a lot easier. My name's Avery and I became a millionaire at the age of 27, and now I'm 28, only a few days old into the age of 28, so thanks for saying happy birthday by hitting that like button out there for me. But I was able to become a millionaire through investing in real estate and many habits that I'm going to talk about in today's video. So if you want to achieve that millionaire status, make sure you walk through the end and think about these 9 tips to help you become a millionaire. The first tip in order to become a millionaire is actually quite simple. It's just live below your means. You might get out of college or start earning more money and think, wow, now I actually have money. But you don't want to then go spend all of that money because then you can't utilize any of it to hit that millionaire status. Many people see that first paycheck right out of school as, wow, now I have money. They get that credit card, they get that really nice luxury apartment, they start wanting to go on a bunch of trips every single weekend, go out to eat, go to the bar, and they just start wasting a lot of it and they find themselves in even more and more debt. This is the exact opposite of what you want to do. If you look at someone like me, right when I got out of school, I lived in an apartment and it was kind of expensive. Probably could have done a little bit better, but I also could have done a lot worse. But pretty much the only amount of money that I spent for the first year out of school was on library book fees, which was $0, plus getting my groceries and then driving to and from work. You may not need to be as extreme as me, but definitely you need to live below your means because there needs to be some type of deficit between the amount of income that you're making and the amount of money that you're spending so that you can actually do something with that money. And you may be thinking with inflation and how insane prices have gotten and cost of living and all of that, that it may be impossible to live below your means. But the second tip will allow you to get out of that trap and make more money. And that second tip is learning ways to increase your income. Now that might sound really obvious and kind of annoying because you can't just go out there and increase your income. Or can you? And you really can. There's so many ways to increase your income, especially in 2023. Right now I'm making money just sitting in my house talking to you through a camera. There's so many different ways that you can make money, and it's way more accessible than it ever was, especially with the internet. So back to my example, while I was living below my means, I was reading a lot of library books that taught me about investing in real estate and different ways to make money. Also at the same time, I found myself a side hustle that would cover my groceries as well as my gas expenses so that I could save basically every penny that I got for my job, other than money that went towards rent and other utilities. The idea of getting that side hustle was a very small component of increasing my income, but it covered some of my base expenses so that I could take a large chunk of my funds and then put it towards my first real estate investment, which then made an even bigger dent in increasing my income. Along the same lines, you can find yourself getting an increase in income at your job or finding other side hustles or different things that you could do in order to make more money. So finding ways to increase your income can be as simple as watching YouTube videos like this. You could find yourself in a mentorship group, you could do some type of course, read some books, or see other people out there who are making more money in different ways. And there's so many different options and it's easy to get really frazzled, but what I would just implore you to do is just learn as much as you can, find out what's actually interesting, and then stick to that thing. Don't do the one thing for like a month and then give up because it's not working. You have to do it for a while. For example, out here on YouTube, I've given myself at least 5 years before I give up on this. So far, it's going decently well. It could go a lot better because some people blow up way faster than I ever will, but it's something that I'm going to continue to do and not give up on until I've hit at least a decent amount of time period. I've seen people start YouTube channels and give up after a month because they haven't gone viral. The third tip would be to invest all of the time. Every single dollar that you get because you're living below your means and you're starting to increase your income and you have an even greater deficit between that income and the amount of money that you're spending, you should invest all of it. Obviously have some type of savings because you need some sort of emergency expense, but you should invest every dollar over that so you can start growing your income and having enough money so that you can hit that millionaire status. Personally for me, every single dollar that I make just goes towards investing, especially investing in real estate because that's what I enjoy the most. All of the cash flow that I now get from my rental properties, from Airbnb, any money that I make on YouTube, any money that I make from my mentorship course, any money that I make from brand deals on TikTok and Instagram, I put that money towards, well, I have to pay some taxes, but I put that money towards investing, and that's what I always want to do. And I continue to live below my means, and I continue to find more ways to increase my income. Obviously, sometimes it's nice to reward yourself for the good things that you're doing along this journey so you don't forget about what's actually important in life. It's not just money, but make sure that you have that same philosophy of thinking, I have money and I'm investing it. Because it feels a lot better, in my opinion, to take money and create more money with it than just spend it frivolously and lose out on a lot of it. Like I talked about at the beginning, instead of getting that first paycheck and moving into a luxury apartment and going out and traveling all the time, you delay gratification by saving that money and living below your means. And instead of going and buying your primary residence as the most expensive one that you could buy that really keeps you at the top of your budget, delay that gratification by a house hack, which is when you live in one unit, rent out the rest so it covers your mortgage, which is the first investment I ever made. Then you can save a lot more money, and then you can keep doing that stuff before you actually buy that dream home that you really want and start taking vacations, because you've done smart things to allow you to increase that income, continue being below your means, and invest religiously like we've been talking about. These all add on top of one another. Like for me personally, I could have a far more inflated lifestyle, I could drive a really nice car, I could have a much bigger house, but I don't do a lot of those things because it's not really, one, what I want, and two, because I know I'm in growth mode and trying to invest religiously as much as possible, not something that I'm really trying to do right now because I know it's not in my best interest. The fifth tip, and this might be hard for a lot of people, but it would be to use math to make decisions. Personally, I was a math and statistics major in college, even though I really struggled through it. Wasn't that great at math. I can handle basic Excel and all of that stuff, like being able to analyze a rental property. And if you want my rental property cash flow calculator, check out the link in the description below where you can get the same calculator that I use for my deals. But really, it's as simple as that. If it's towards being a millionaire and about finances, there's a lot of math that you can always do that comes into play when it's about making decisions. So some examples could be utilizing credit cards instead of debit cards. If you buy stuff with credit cards, you get points back, and if you get those points back, you can use those points to fly places for free, which obviously is a win-win deal. Why would you use a debit card when you can use a credit card that will allow you to travel for free? Another example would be buying that primary residence where you have a $2,500 mortgage versus buying the duplex where you also have a $2,500 or maybe let's say $3,000 mortgage, but you rent out the other side of the duplex for $2,200. Instead of paying $2,500 a month for a mortgage, you're now paying $800 a month towards your mortgage, which is a much better decision, and all it took was a little bit of math to figure that out. So when it comes to any financial decisions, if you're unsure of what exactly to do, what to invest in, just sit down, do some math, and look at what would make sense and also align it with what you're passionate about and what you want to do in your life. The sixth tip, and where a lot of people get hung up because the other ones aren't nearly as mental on this one, would just be to outlast your doubt. People have doubts in their lives all the time, thinking they're not good enough for something, thinking they can't do something just because someone told them so, or because they told them so themselves, or they see all these other people on the internet who make millions of dollars and they think it's so unachievable for them to do the same thing. If you're able to stick consistently to do something, show up day in, day out, maybe you can take a couple of days off here and there, I know I do, then you're eventually just going to be able to do that thing and be successful in it because you have just shown up and continue to outlast that doubt that you might have. Really, this is just about never giving up, especially if you're starting some type of side hustle or other job or selling something or a YouTube channel and you don't know if it's going to work out well. Just don't give up on it until it makes sense. Now, if you're 3 years into YouTube and you have 10 subscribers and you're still, instead of looking at the camera when you're making videos, doing this because you don't understand where to actually look, then maybe try something else. But within reason, make sure that you don't give up on those things and continue to do it, because often when people quit, it's right before they could have some type of large success. And it can be really hard to keep going, but stick to those goals and know what you want to actually do. If you really want to outlast your doubt and not give up, you need to have some motivation that will actually get you there. And money's a good motivator, but there are a lot better things that could motivate you. For example, my motivation is that when I have a family, I want to be able to just be a stay-at-home dad, but not have the entire family to worry about finances where someone is stressed. I want everybody to just be happy and be able to do the things they want to do while I don't miss out on my kids' life. The other thing that I want to make money for is because I want to be able to hang out with my parents, do fun and cool trips with them before they're too old. So if I take too long to get there, they'll be too old, we can't necessarily do a hiking trip or an outdoor trip. I'll just be visiting them and it'll be more sedentary. I want to hang out with them a lot earlier than that actually happens. So if you know what your drive is and what's important to you and what you want to get out of life and why you're actually earning that money and hoping to become a millionaire, then that is going to help you day in, day out. There are many days when I don't want to make videos, many days when I don't want to do the things that I know will bring money into my pocket, but I do them anyway because right now I know I have all the time in the world. I don't have those kids to worry about, and I know that I want to achieve that thing of being able to hang out with my parents more. Final tip that I have, if you want to become a millionaire in your 20s, would be to stay humble. Personally, I'm not a cocky person, but it is something that I've struggled with over the course of, especially me doing some type of social media, because you start getting followers, or sometimes when you start making money and you just think about the fact that you have money and you think you're maybe better better than you are. I remember in February of 2021, I posted my first viral-ish video on YouTube. I got over 240,000 views on that video now. It was only a month after I did YouTube. So I thought I was really cool, thought I was better than everybody else at YouTube because 1 month in, I was able to get a bunch of subscribers and have this awesome video going. But meanwhile, I knew I'm still a really small channel and I'm not better than anyone else just because one of my videos did well. Same thing happened to me again when I started getting a lot of followers on TikTok and brands would start to reach out to me and offer me money. I would start saying really high numbers for them to give me. Now, you should know your worth, but you should also know that you still need to work hard and you're not better than anyone else's time. So I always had to continue to remind myself that I'm not better than anyone else's time, but know in my head I'm better than people. It's kind of a balancing act because you want to still believe that you are a confident and skillful person, but know that your time is not more valuable than someone else's, so you can't treat people as such. Not saying that I did that, but just a balancing act that you have to play in your mind. So make sure you continue to stay humble, give value to people, and they will give value back to you, and things will just work out really well in your life. Those are all of today's tips to become a millionaire, and not all of them are necessarily quantifiable or specific things that you could actually do today, like how to start a dropshipping company so you could make millions of dollars every single week, or whatever these people are pushing you with their course on TikTok out there. But they're actual habits that you could utilize and mindset shifts that could get you from the place that you're in to the place that you want to be. So if you guys like that video, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so, and subscribe if you want to watch more videos and learn how you can achieve financial freedom. So thanks again for watching, and more wealth is coming your way.